Hello there, YouTube, and hello, fellow Simmers. I'm Pinstar, and this is the Create a Sim demo for The Sims 4. So, in my last video covering this, I pretty much just walked you through all the different aspirations and sub-traits available to your Sims, so that those of you who do not have the demo might have a chance to see what traits are available and plan out your Legacy Challenge founders in advance. I also gave you some basic lowdown on the rules surrounding your founder, which is of no surprise. Your founder, you'll be able to choose everything you want, including whatever aspiration you want, whatever sub-traits you want. Easy peasy, and that's how it's always been. Now, also going on the vein of how it's always been, that's not going to be the case for your heirs. So in this video, I'm going to be covering some of the potential rules surrounding your heirs for your Legacy Challenge in the Sims 4. So what happens when your founder passes on and passes the torch to your second generation heir? Well, you gotta have a way to have their aspirations picked somehow. But you're not going to pick whatever you want. That's certainly not going to be the case. Now, in past incarnations of The Sims 2 and The Sims 3, there's always an element of randomness for it. Now, unfortunately, I do not see a random button here on the Select an Aspiration screen. There is a randomize button down here, but it only pertains to visual entities. That being said, the Sim Gurus have gone on record saying that the Create a Sim demo is just that. It's a demo, meaning it is not 100% feature complete, meaning that there very well may be a random button showing up here in the final release. But random button or not, you're going to have throw some form of random element in here. So, when it comes to picking your aspirations, whatever life stage they happen to gain the aspiration choice, we're going to be going back to our roots in The Sims 2. That's right. We're going to be using the handy-dandy dice. And if for those veterans back in The Sims 2, The Sims 2 was governed by a 6-sided dice, something you could poach off of Monopoly board easily, or any other board game. This, on the other hand, there are now 10 aspirations instead of 6, which means we're going to need to poach something off of a Dungeons & Dragons set, or World of Darkness set, depending on your role-playing game preferences, and get yourself a 10-sided dice. Or, for those of us who don't own a 10-sided dice, there's a million different online dice rollers available if you just need something to spit out a random number for you from 1 to 10. So when your heir comes of age to gain their aspiration, you're going to be selecting a random number, and that will pertain to which core aspiration they go to. So in my case, I just rolled myself a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 is going to be food. So my second generation heir here is going to be a foodie. Now when it comes to deciding thing, that's going to be another random choice here. So in this case, with the two different choices, one would be odds, one would be evens, and we have 1, so that's an odd. So Master Chef. So our secondary heir here is going to be a Master Chef. Now, when it comes to these sub-traits, there's a couple of things I'm on the fence with here. Well, first off, these are also going to be random, but since they're split up into different categories, I'm trying to decide if it would make sense to first roll the category and then roll within that, or just put the whole thing on one big laundry list and have it spit out a random trait. Most likely what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on a big list, have it spit out a trait, and have that random number generator or random trait generator on my website, unless, of course, there's one built into the game. So all you need to do is go to thesimslegacychallenge.com. There will be a specific section for trait generation and random number generation. You just say, get me a Sims 4 trait. Bada boom, there's your traits. Now, the exception to that is going to be what I call a family trait. Now, this is sort of a optional rule holdover from The Sims 3. the idea of a family trait is that there's one thing that is so hardcore ingrained in your legacy family's culture, in your genes, in your very essence, if you will. And every single member will carry on that particular trait. It is such a dominant trait. So in lieu of rolling 3 completely random traits, what you would do is you would pick one trait to be along your family trait. It would have to be one of the 3 traits that your founder starts with, and you'd have to define that at the beginning. If I were doing a family trait, and if I'm doing my mask family here, which I intend to do, their family trait is absolutely insane. So every single heir or heiress in my mask family is going to be insane, plus 2 other things. But the 2 other things and their ultimate aspiration is going to be very different. So I'm just going to close my eyes here and pick some random stuff. And there. Hates children and... Oh, man. Oh, man. Alright, I can see role-playing potentials for her already. Woo! Anyway, but the reason I'm sort of on the fence with it here is if you're pre-selecting one of the traits, that is a full third of the potential randomness that might be showing up in your sim. And depending on how strongly these traits are played, it might make your family seem a little samey. And I don't want that. I want your family to feel unique, because every sim that's born in your family has to have the random number generator applied to them when it comes to their traits. So there's no way that, any 2 are going to turn out exactly the same. But they might be enough of the same that it might kind of diminish that unique feeling. So what I really need to do is get my hands on the game and get a feel for it and see what it's like when you have, the mother is insane, and the daughter is insane, and her brother is insane, and her sister is insane, and, everyone but the spouse essentially is insane. And do the fact that all of those sims share the same trait, or if they're all creative, or if they're all goofballs, the fact that they all share that one trait, does that make them all kind of behave, too much the same? Or does it sort of show up subtly where there'll be some interactions where some of them might, sort of get on the same wavelength and wink and nod at each other, but otherwise do their own thing? So that much needs to be applied in terms of, practice in terms of the actual retail copy of the game as to what the final ruling of that's going to be. And I will make that distinction after much playtesting. The other thought I had here is for some added difficulty in the later generations. So, interesting numerology here. We've got 10 generations, and that's the same since the Sims 2 incarnation of the challenge. But now we have 10 different aspirations. Funny that. So what if? Well, what I'm probably going to do is make it so that if you can swing it so that each of your different 10 generation Sims are of a different aspiration, then you get sort of the maximum points in that particular category. Now, what's going to make it more difficult is that as you go down the generations, like our second generation era, there's only one outcome, one random roll that could force a repeat. That would be creativity. So there's a 1 in 10 chance that my firstborn is going to repeat the same as her mother, and you probably have to have another child after her to try and get another random chance for a different aspiration. But now let's say it's generation 7. There's only 3 unique aspirations out there, assuming you've hit unique traits for all the others. Now it's a lot more difficult to randomly get that trait you want, meaning it's going to involve a lot more children. I'm not too sure if I want to introduce that gameplay element into the challenge or not. I need to do a little play testing and whatnot, and I'm a little leery about adding in too much random chance in there, because I don't want someone to feel like their challenge has been derailed because they got a string of bad luck, and they got 5 children in a row that were all fortune and their founder was fortune or something like that. So I'm still playing with that idea. So what I want you guys to do, and the whole reason I made this video, is let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. What do you think of the family trait versus a not family trait? What do you think of the rolling randomly for aspirations? And what do you think of the idea of enforcing that, or not so much enforcing that, but giving you points to see if you can collect all 10 unique ones? Gotta catch them all type of thing. Which would make it harder as you go down the generational tree. So go ahead, leave me a comment with your thoughts on that. Your feedback is always welcome. And that being said, keep an eye on my Twitter feed and my channel that's at Pinstar, and youtube.com/Pinstar, which you obviously know because you're kind of watching this video. But if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and you will be notified of any future videos that I do. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. Have a good one, everyone.